Welcome back to the channel. Coins Collector. Today we are diving deep into a story that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and history lovers all over the world. We are going to talk about a very small coin, a coin that many people have held in their hands without ever realizing the true treasure it could represent. Yes, I am talking about the 1984 D1 dime coin from the United States of America, a coin with a face value of only 10 cents but in today's rare coin market has been known to fetch jaw-dropping figures reaching up to $431,000. This is not just an ordinary dime. This is a piece of history, a hidden jewel that reminds us that sometimes the most valuable things can be hiding right in plain sight in our pockets, our piggy banks, or tucked away in an old drawer at home. Now, before we get into the current value and the incredible numbers attached to this coin, let us take a step back and talk about the history of the dime itself and why the 1984 Denver Mint dime is such a remarkable story. The dime, as you know, is the smallest coin in size that is regularly circulated in the United States. It has been a part of the American coinage system since the late 1700s. Over the centuries, the dime has gone through many changes in design, weight, and composition. From the early draped bust dimes of the 1790s to the seated Liberty dimes of the 1800s, all the way to the Barber dimes, the Mercury dimes, and finally the Roosevelt dimes that we know today, each chapter in the history of this coin tells us something about the nation and the times in which it was made. By 1984, the dime had already been using the familiar Roosevelt design for several decades. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. His image on the dime was chosen not only because of his role as president during the Great Depression and World War II but also because of his founding of the March of Dimes campaign, which raised funds to fight polio. The design was fitting and it remains to this day. Most people look at a Roosevelt dime and think it is just another common coin. But sometimes mistakes in the minting process or rare variations make certain years and certain mint marks incredibly valuable. That brings us to the year 1984 and the Denver Mint mark, represented by the small letter D on the coin. At first glance, the 1984 D dime does not look much different from the millions of other dimes that came out that year. It is made of the same copper-nickel clad composition, it carries the same Roosevelt portrait, and it has the same mottos. But for collectors and numismatists who study coins, the story is much deeper. Certain coins from that year struck at the Denver Mint have shown unusual qualities, striking errors, and extremely high levels of preservation. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin that is circulated, scratched, or worn down may only be worth face value, while a coin that is in pristine mint state condition or with a rare minting error can command extraordinary prices at auction. The highest recorded sale for a 1984 D dime has stunned even experienced collectors. In the auction world, the hammer price of over $400,000 placed this coin among the elite category of small denomination coins that have become legendary. Imagine holding a dime, the same type of coin you might use to buy a gumball from a vending machine or to drop into a parking meter, and realizing that in the right condition it is worth more than a luxury home or a collection of sports cars. That is the thrill of numismatics. That is why so many people are fascinated by coins. The reason behind such staggering value lies in rarity combined with demand. In 1984, millions of dimes were produced in Denver, but only a handful survived in the highest possible grades. Professional grading companies such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins with a detailed scale that ranges from poor all the way up to mint state and even proof-like categories. A dime graded at the very top of the scale becomes almost a miracle of preservation. Collectors are willing to pay fortunes to own such a piece, because it is not just about owning metal, it is about owning perfection, rarity, and history combined. Another factor that can make coins like the 1984 D dime valuable is the possibility of mint errors. Sometimes dies are misaligned, sometimes double strikes occur, sometimes a planchet of the wrong metal is accidentally used. Each of these mistakes creates a unique coin that cannot be duplicated. Error coins are like fingerprints. No two are exactly alike, and collectors value that uniqueness. Over the years, error coins have sold for thousands and sometimes millions, and the 1984 Denver dime is part of that fascinating tradition. So what does this mean for the everyday person who might be watching this video? It means that hidden treasures can be closer than you think. It means that the coins you handle daily could include something special without you even knowing. Many stories exist of people finding valuable dimes, quarters, or pennies in change from a grocery store, in a jar of coins saved for years, or inherited from grandparents. That thrill of discovery makes coin collecting one of the most exciting hobbies and potentially one of the most profitable. Now let us talk about today's market. The coin collecting world is stronger than ever. With online auctions, coin shows, collector communities, and grading services, the market for rare coins has become global and highly competitive. Wealthy investors, passionate hobbyists, and museums are all bidding against each other to secure the finest examples of historic coins. This has pushed prices higher and higher. The 1984 D dime, once considered an ordinary coin, has risen to legendary status thanks to its record sale price of $431,000. And as long as demand continues, these prices are unlikely to drop anytime soon. When we consider inflation, global economic uncertainty, and the desire for tangible assets, rare coins become more attractive. Unlike stocks or paper assets, a rare coin is something you can hold in your hand. It is a physical object with beauty, craftsmanship, and history. The market for such tangible collectibles has shown resilience over time, and certain coins, including our 1984 Denver dime, stand as shining examples of this trend. So as you watch this video, think about the dimes you have seen in your lifetime. Think about the coins sitting in your pocket, your purse, or a dusty jar at home. Could one of them be a hidden treasure? Could one of them be the next coin to break auction records? The only way to know is to look closely, to learn the details, to understand mint marks, dates, and conditions. That is what makes this hobby so engaging. Every coin is a mystery waiting to be solved. In the upcoming sections we will look more at how to identify a valuable 1984 D dime, what features to check, how to grade coins, and where to go if you think you may have found one. But for now, just imagine the journey of a single dime. Minted in Denver in 1984, perhaps slipping into circulation, passing through countless hands, forgotten for decades, and then suddenly rediscovered and recognized as a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That story is as dramatic as any adventure tale, and it is happening in the world of coins right now. So stay tuned as we continue this fascinating journey. We are just getting started with the incredible history, the amazing market value, and the thrill of searching for the next great discovery in the world of United States coins. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in modern American coinage. We are going to talk about a simple-looking dime, a coin that most people would glance at and toss into their pocket change without a second thought. But this dime is not just any ordinary coin. This is the 1985 D Roosevelt dime, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors all around the world because of its rarity, its condition, and the astonishing prices it has brought in the marketplace. Believe it or not, one example has been valued as high as $335,000. Yes, you heard that right, over $300,000 for a coin that normally has a face value of just 10 cents. Now before we jump into the current market value and the incredible numbers that have been reported, we need to go back and understand the history of the dime itself. The dime has been a part of American coinage since the very beginning, with the first dimes being struck in the late 1700s. Through the decades the design has changed, with earlier series like the draped bust, the capped bust, the seated liberty, the barber dime, and then of course the Mercury dime. After World War II, the United States Mint made the decision to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had recently passed away, with his portrait on the dime. That design was introduced in 1946 and it has remained in circulation ever since, making it one of the longest-running designs in American coinage history. The Roosevelt dime is something that nearly every American has handled countless times. For decades it has been struck by the millions and billions at the different U.S. Mint facilities. In 1985 the Denver Mint, marked by the letter D, produced a huge quantity of these coins. To the casual eye, the 1985 D dime looks completely ordinary. But like many great stories in numismatics, the extraordinary value does not always come from the design itself but from specific conditions, errors, or extremely rare surviving examples in pristine quality. When we talk about coin values, there are several factors to consider. The most basic is mintage, which means how many were struck. In 1985, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of dimes, which means the majority of them are only worth their face value. But once we introduce the concept of condition, rarity of surviving quality, and the grading scale, things start to change dramatically. Collectors and dealers rely on what is known as the Sheldon grading scale, a system that ranks coins from poor, which is basically a damaged and worn-out coin, all the way up to mint state and proof-like coins that have survived without a single scratch, fingerprint, or sign of wear. The magic of the 1985 D-dime comes from those very few coins that were struck perfectly, stored carefully, and preserved in flawless condition. In the world of grading, a perfect score is known as mint state 70. Even mint state 69, just one tiny step below perfect, is extraordinarily rare for circulation coins like the dime. Because the mint never intended these coins to be collected at the highest level, only a handful of examples exist in such pristine states. Those few coins that have been professionally graded and certified by organizations such as PCGS or NGC have stunned the collecting world by bringing prices in the hundreds of thousands. Think about that for a moment. A coin that nearly everyone in 1985 thought was just another dime could actually be worth more than most houses, cars, or even college tuition today. This is what makes coin collecting such a thrilling and rewarding hobby. It is the treasure hunt aspect, the idea that something so ordinary could actually turn out to be something extraordinary. And it is not just about the money. The story behind the coin, the history it carries, and the connection to American life and culture all play a role in why people are so fascinated by these rare examples. Now let us dig deeper into what makes the 1985 D-dime so special in terms of value. Reports show that a top-graded example has been valued and even sold in the marketplace for over $335,000. That number is not just shocking, it is life-changing. What collectors are paying for is not just the coin itself but the uniqueness of having something that almost no one else owns. In the world of numismatics, rarity combined with demand drives prices higher and higher. With millions of collectors competing and only a few perfect coins available, the bidding can skyrocket. It is also important to mention that not every 1985 D-dime is worth big money. Most of them, the ones you find in circulation or even in old jars at home, are worth 10 cents or maybe slightly more if they are uncirculated but not graded. The big values only apply to those coins that have been carefully preserved and achieve the highest grades possible. That is why professional grading services are so crucial. They provide authentication, a guarantee of condition, and they give confidence to buyers and sellers that they are dealing with the real thing. This leads us into the broader lesson of coin collecting. If you are someone who has a jar of coins at home, it is always worth taking the time to look through them. You may not find a 1985 D-dime worth hundreds of thousands, but you could discover other valuable coins. Errors, low mintages, special varieties, and high-grade examples are all hiding in plain sight. Coin collecting is about knowledge, patience, and a little bit of luck. Now let's circle back to the market today. The buzz around the 1985 D-dime shows us just how strong the coin collecting market has become. Collectors from all over the world are willing to invest serious money in rare U.S. coins. The growth of online marketplaces, auctions, and global communication has connected buyers and sellers like never before. What used to be a hobby of local clubs and small shows has now turned into a worldwide market where prices can reach unbelievable levels. The fact that a dime has reached the $300,000 mark proves that numismatics is alive and well, and it is attracting not only passionate hobbyists but also serious investors. For viewers who are new to this channel, this is what we do. We explore the hidden stories of coins, their history, their design, their rarity, and the incredible surprises they hold. Coins are not just metal, they are miniature pieces of history, art, and culture that tell the story of a nation. The 1985 D dime is just one shining example of how a small object can carry immense value both financially and historically. So as we continue today's video, we are going to look at some images of these coins, talk about how to identify them, what to look for if you think you might have one, and why condition is everything. We will break down how coins are graded, how collectors search for them, and how one dime can go from pocket change to a life-changing fortune. Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started. And remember, every coin in your pocket has a story waiting to be told. The next time you see a dime, especially one from 1985 with that D mint mark, take a closer look. You never know what might be sitting right in front of you.